What's going on, guys? Welcome to the EdFlix podcast. This is the second episode of the series. I am joined with my friend Brian. Brian, what is up, my friend?
What is up, my man? How you doing?
Oh, we're good. We're good. So, one thing to know about Mr. Brian here is, um, his video likes to lag a little bit, but we can hear him. Isn't that right?
That's good. That's good.
That's right. So, Brian, there's some stuff that I do on this podcast, okay? Um, we talk about movies a little bit. We talk about all this extra stuff. But something I want to get into really quick, just because we've been friends for, what, almost 4 years now?
Almost.
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 Can you believe that? You've been friends with my dumbass for 4 years?
I mean, I can believe it, but am I proud of it? Definitely not.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna,
we're sure.
same here. Same goes for me with you. But what is it? I just wanted people to know a little bit about our friendship. All right. Um, so I think it's best if you tell the story of the greatest race in human history.
Oh my God, not the race. All
tell
right. Well,
tell them about
um,
that.
so it was a great night. It was me, Edgar, and one of our very good friends, Eric, and we were just hanging out on top of a parking lot parkade because there's nothing else to do where we live. So me and Edgar had the bright idea. You know what? Well, there's nothing else to do. Let's just have a nice race. We even got Eric involved. It was a nice three-man race. We were all ready. So as we set up, we go ready, set, go. We all go flying. Me and Eric are a bit skinnier. Well, I mean, I'm a bit skinnier than Edgar, and Eric's a lot skinnier than both of us. So me and Eric take a bit of a lead. And as I'm looking over to look at Eric, all he hears do 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 do, boom. And we look back, and all we see is Ed face first on the ground, eating pavement. And, and me and Eric, being very competitive, we didn't stop. We finished our race, and then we went to go check on him.
Dude, I just remember tripping over my own foot about 3 seconds into the race. And I just remember tripping over my own foot and smacking my skull off of the pavement of that rooftop.
Oh,
And I'm just looking, and I see the two of you, that long-legged motherfucker running, and then you running right side by side, and he like looked back at you and was making fun of you, wasn't he? And so you technically won.
oh yeah. So he tried to do because this was around the time that what's his name oh my God, Donald Glover dropped the song "This Is America,"
Yeah.
and so he did like the little like run dance that he did in that song, but he did it, and like I wasn't very far behind him. He did it, and I sped up and beat him by like 2 seconds.
Dude.
So I beat him in the race. And let me paint a picture for you. I'm about 224 at the time. I was probably about 240,
Hmm.
and I'm about 6 foot tall, 240. This man is 6'4", probably 150 soaking wet.
Dude, he is
This
the
man is
lankiest.
lanky.
Yeah, he is the lankiest
Exactly,
son of a bitch
exactly.
ever. Like we
So
call this dude the giraffe. I'm not even kidding, dude. This
yeah,
dude's neck is like 4 feet tall.
no, literally. So as you know, so I win the race, and I'm a very confident person. I did not let him get under it. I don't that dance meant nothing to me because I won. So after I was done gloating, me and Eric both looked at each other and said, "Oh wait, one of our friends is still eating pavement behind us," as Edgar was slowly getting up. So we finally took the executive decision that we should probably go check him.
Dude,
Thankfully, he was okay, but it was close.
dude, I was perfectly fine. I was just on the ground just laughing because I'm just like, y'all didn't even stop. Dude, I was
No,
so
it was
hurt.
great because he didn't even move. He didn't even move. He really didn't. He just stayed where he was.
Dude, I just stayed on the ground. I just sat there and I was like, all right, I give up. Like, it was great. It was fantastic, dude.
Um,
But
how long ago was that now?
That was probably had to have been like 3 years ago. Cause
Damn.
I think I was the only one with a driver's license at the time.
No, 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 no.
No,
Because I
no,
mean,
you
what?
know, you had your license. I don't know if Eric did though. Did he?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Eric, but I mean, because if it was, I mean, think about it. We were friends 4 years ago. I'm 20, and
Yeah.
I got my driver's license the day I turned 16.
Yeah, no,
Early, yeah, it was something like
you had your driver's license, but
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if Eric did.
Um, if it was 3 years ago, he could have, because he would have been around 16.
Yeah,
But if it was earlier than that, then no, because he would have been 15.
yeah, I have no idea. I just know that
Not yeah, no.
looking back on it, I was hanging out with really young people. Like what the hell? Oh.
Bro, I literally thought the same thing, but I just didn't want to out you on the podcast.
Yeah, no,
Like
who
this in.
who cares? I mean, dude, it is what it is. You know, you guys are my friends. We've been friends for years. What is it? Honestly, part of me wants to have you talk about the day we met. Uh, would you?
I actually thought that's what you were going to tell me to talk about when you first started the topic. But I would be happy to if you're so obliged.
All right, you know what? You tell your version of the story. I'll tell mine after. Okay?
Okay, so I was relatively new to my job. I worked at Wegmans. Classy company, excluding a few incidents. But which we'll probably talk about eventually on this podcast. But basically, they were sending me outside. I was a cashier, but they were sending me outside to push carts, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to work outside, push carts, and so I already had I was kind of acquainted, barely, with some people who worked out there because I've been out there once or twice already. So I was talking to, I believe, one of the Studleys. I could be wrong.
No, dude,
I don't remember,
wasn't it Eusebio?
Oh, it was either Hasuavia or Eli, maybe. Because I feel like no one else would tell
Oh,
me.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was Eusebio because that's who helped me in, to
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I get outside. These characters mean nothing until later stories. But so as I'm getting outside, I'm talking to this guy, just chatting up. I like to think I'm a very personal person, so we're laughing. And he goes, "Yo, you gotta meet this Edgar kid." I'm like, why? And he's like, "So don't say anything about it." But broke his balls, and I'm like, and he, I'm still, I mean, kind of young, so I'm like, what? You could break your balls? What do you mean?
weren't you 16 or 17 at the time?
Yeah, I was. I mean, this is when I first got my job at Wegmans, so because we were both about 3 months in at the time, I believe.
Yeah.
I was either 15 or I just turned 16. So I got my job at Wegmans when I just turned 15, or a little bit after 15. So it could be either or, 15 or just turned 16.
That's
so. So I'm flabbergasted. This man told me I'm about to meet someone who broke their balls. I'm like, there's no bones in your balls. How did he break it? He's like, bro, he did it. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, but don't say anything. So I get out there, and I meet Edgar for the first time. A lot chubbier than he is now. Didn't have the beard.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was like, okay, I just don't think I'm gonna be friends with this kid. Honestly, if I'm, and I'm mainly friends with, I was a football player throughout high school, so I was friends with all football players, and I kind of fit into that stereotype of a quote unquote jock. I'm not proud of it, but I'll embrace it. And so I saw Edgar, and I'm like, well, I'll only have to see him a few times. This will be all right. But, so I get to talking to him, and as I said, I'm very personable. So, we're get to talking, and I just completely disregard what Eusebio said. And I go, so I heard you broke your balls.
First thing he ever said to me.
Actually, I go, hi, my name is Brian. We're sitting there, and Edgar's kind of a little bit awkward. Maybe not as much now, but back then he was very quiet. So we're sitting there quiet, and I'm like, look, I gotta ask. How'd you do it? How did you break your balls? And he just goes, oh. and I'm just like, I'm sorry. If you don't want to tell me, it's fine, but I have to ask.
Dude.
So
I want you to know that right there, I hated you. I hated you.
I mean, fair. who starts off an icebreaker with that? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. You just walk up to someone. So I heard you broke your sack, boy. All right, like, like no, no, like, dude. First of all right. We obviously know what happened. I tore a muscle in my groin. But how hilarious is it when you're? I was 18 at the time. You walk in and you go, "I broke my balls." You know, fucking hilarious. So that's what happened. I tore a muscle in my groin. So every time I did anything, it hurt like hell in my groin, in my like near my balls. And so, yeah, that's literally how we met. They sent him into my job when I got hurt on the job. And he met me when I was coming back with official paperwork from a doctor who just got done feeling me up, saying, "Yeah, he broke his balls." So, yeah, this dude was like 15, 16 years old. He walks up to me, "How'd you do it?" I was like, "What?" So, yeah, it's literally how we met. Didn't talk to this dude for months after that. Hated him. I was like, "Oh, I hope this dude dies." And then we, by the good graces of our mutual friend Eric, one day started playing video games together. That's literally what happened. We started playing video games together because of Eric, and we were then like, "Wait a minute."
We didn't even realize for like the first few days like that who we were.
Yeah,
Until we
exactly.
started like talking. We were
Yeah.
like, wait, you're him?
Yeah,
It
dude.
was a mind blowing revelation.
Exactly. Yeah. We were just like, "Wait, you work with me?" And then I was like, "Wait, you're the guy that made fun of my balls?" And you were like, "I am." And I was like, "Ah."
I am.
Dude, that shit was fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, I figure we get it out there how we met. Why not? You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like the two stories really sets up our friendship. You know,
Oh, 100%.
me asking personal questions, and then me watching you get hurt and not caring.
That's
You know, I mean,
that's literally our friendship for like the last 4 years.
wait, it's not that. You know, I mean, I care about you.
Sometimes I feel like we are only friends because I broke my balls, Brian.
Next one.
But nah, dude. You want to hear some crazy shit? I know
Well,
I know you're not like a huge fan of pro wrestling, but
okay.
do you know who CM Punk is?
Okay, so I don't know who he is, but I have read a bit about him because everyone was making fun of that one fan for crying. There was like a viral picture of like one fan crying, and
Yeah.
then like I saw millions of people like defending him, like like even celebrities came up and were like, like you get very emotional with these things. Like if you're making fun of him, you're making fun of me. You're like you're a bad person. And so like I read a few more posts about him and looked into it, and apparently CM Punk's like a great guy. Like I don't know the full extent of it, but apparently like he bought like I guess like he like helped like give like everyone ice cream or something like that. I don't even know. But I understand he's a great guy, and it was a crazy moment in history.
Yeah, no, 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 no. So I used to watch pro wrestling like every day when I was younger. CM Punk,
Yeah.
he was a wrestler. He was one of the biggest names in pro wrestling. Like you couldn't go anywhere without knowing who CM Punk was. He was literally the best in the world, and he like held the WWE championship for over a year. He held this thing called the pipe bomb, right? The pipe bomb, yeah.
Oh.
This thing, yeah, no, it's just something that he did. It was like he basically stood in the ring, or no, he sat down on the stage of WWE and basically shit talked the entire company, and it was like this huge thing because he was like, "Fuck Vince McMahon, fuck this company," and yeah, no, it was huge. And within that next year, he left the company and was like, "I'm never coming back to WWE. Fuck Vince. Fuck everything." He goes, "I love my fans, but my mental health is so fucked." And the reason people love him is because he's a very like he's one of those guys that he can connect to people because he's so real. Like he was like he's super straight edge. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything like that. So he has that whole fan base of people that are like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So he's got people that are, struggling with addiction or struggled with addiction on his side and whatnot. And then just because he was so good with the mic and everything, and he was a great wrestler, people loved him for that. Well, when he left 7 years ago and said he'd never come back to WWE, we were like, well, it's over. He's not coming back. WWE is like the only big wrestling company in the world. And in the last year or so, a new company called AEW popped up out of nowhere. You probably heard of it, maybe not. And no, okay. Well, it's getting really big. Like the Big Show is there now. Like he left WWE for it. Chris Jericho, you know who Chris Jericho is?
I don't, but I know who the Big Show is.
Yeah, you know who the Big Show is. But what is it? A lot of guys: Cody Rhodes, Goldust, Christian, all these big pro wrestler names. And then other guys, like younger talent, like good young talent, is there, and they're doing really, really good. And WWE is struggling. Like they are getting rid of a lot of guys. People are saying, Vince, you need to step down. Oh my God, I can't wait till he's dead. Like they're like, no, like he's like, because he's driving a business into the ground. Like he's doing terrible, and fans are just like, I can't wait till he passes away because then he won't be in charge of the company. Like it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
And then what is it? CM Punk last Friday came back to wrestling. He went on to AEW, all right? Not WWE, but AEW. And when I tell you, you could go and look at the clips on YouTube. They're incredible, dude. They're friggin' incredible. The second his music, like before his music hit, because it was right at the beginning of the show, everybody is just screaming, CM Punk! CM Punk. And that's something that fans have done in WWE for the last 7 years. Whenever WWE got boring, they would yell CM Punk because CM Punk was never boring, and they drove CM Punk out of the business. And so finally CM Punk is being chanted, and all of a sudden you hear his music hit and everybody fucking goes wild, dude. I got goosebumps watching the clip. I'm not even kidding. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I think the most upsetting part is that it was the same theme song from WWE. The reason that's upsetting is because WWE usually buys the song that wrestler uses. That way WWE owns the rights to that song. But
yeah.
You know the song Cult of Personality?
No.
No, it's actually a really, really good song. But they never bought the rights to it. And I think that goes to show how much they didn't give a fuck about the guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, which is really upsetting. But he was able to come out to that same music, and the fans loved him. He sat down in the ring, literally sat down in the ring, and was like, I'm back, I'm here, I stopped wrestling years ago, I said I wasn't coming back because of that particular company, but I'm here, AEW's not that company. And basically he shunned WWE. He said that he stopped wrestling 13 years ago when he left his original place, Ring of Honor. He said that was the day I stopped pro wrestling. WWE, he didn't even mention WWE as a name, but he basically insinuated that WWE isn't pro wrestling. And so he just basically was like, nah, fuck WWE, you know? And everybody loved it, including myself. I was like, good, fuck WWE. And WWE is now trying to bring back guys like Brock Lesnar.
I saw that. I did see that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, well, they're trying to do that because CM Punk went to AEW, and so Vince McMahon is sitting in the back going, oh, Jesus Christ, they brought back CM Punk, the one guy we can't get back. And like that, no, you like if you knew wrestling at all, that is the biggest thing you could do. And so Vince McMahon is probably pissed out of his mind, but they brought back Brock Lesnar. They brought back Becky Lynch, who was injured or something. And there was another person that they just brought back. I don't remember their name. I saw it very briefly. Like, I'm sure I know who it is. I mean, but like, I just don't remember. But there was a third one. But yeah, no. And so WWE is like struggling to like bring themselves to that like level. And AEW, I'm sorry, dude, but like, I might start watching AEW, like pro wrestling now, like just because that's huge. I mean, I want to see CM Punk wrestle a match for the first time in 7 years. It's like, it's insane. But I don't know. I just find that super interesting. But
I mean, honestly, I think, I mean, like, even without like, being one of the people who watch this shit, like hearing like all that backstory, like that does just sound like a crazy ass moment. Like for any fan, that sounds like something that you would lose your mind over, and or as I saw like the post, like maybe even cry over if you were that invested into it.
And yeah, exactly. What is it? There's moments like that in pro wrestling. Like there was the moment the Undertaker lost his first match at WrestleMania. That was huge. CM Punk returning. That is huge. Those moments are moments that people don't forget. And so that guy, he looked maybe a year or two older than me. Like, he didn't look that old. And 7 years ago, how old was I 7 years ago? I was 15. So this dude was probably 16, 17, maybe, who knows? Maybe he is my age. Maybe he's a little younger. But I'm just imagining this dude was a kid when he left. CM Punk left, and so it was his childhood.
I didn't realize he was that young. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know how old that guy was. I'm just saying he didn't look old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got you.
But or who knows? Maybe because it was in the hometown of Chicago. Like, CM Punk lives in Chicago, and that's where that took place. Yeah. Maybe that guy knew him personally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who the fuck knows? Maybe they went to school together. Maybe, like, who knows? We don't know. But maybe they met once, and this guy was like a former alcoholic or drug addict, and CM Punk was like, hey, man, listen, like, I understand you, I feel you, and, like, he helped that guy just by talking to him, you know what I mean? Like, because, like I said, CM Punk's like that whole straight edge movement, and
yeah,
you never know. Either that or he's, I just don't like when people make fun of people for getting like that in moments like that. I don't know, but
no, I understand. It's the same thing. Like, I don't know how many people I know that cried when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and then there's other people who are like, oh, it's just a game, it's just a sport. But like for some people, like, like that's a lot to them. They watch every single game, they watch every single season.
Exactly.
Watching them lose year after year after year after year, and then watching them win the biggest thing that they could possibly win, like, it's emotional. And if you're that invested in any sport, any form of entertainment, you're gonna get, maybe you might tear up, maybe you might cry, maybe you might bawl because you're just so overwhelmed with your emotions. I know personally, one of my best friends, we watched Tom Brady get the ball slapped out of his hand in the fourth quarter with like a minute and a half left, and this man, and at least where we live, it was slush and about 4 to 5 inches of snow on the ground, and this man ran around his entire city block in nothing, like literally shorts, a t-shirt, and no shoes or socks, barefoot. This man walked in and said, I think I have frostbite. And I was like, bro, we won. He's like, we won, and it was just like, it was so crazy.
What is it? I was gonna say, I'm an Eagles fan too, Brian. We know,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm probably one of the biggest Eagles fans there are. I know every fucking player every single year. I watch every game, so I felt that, man. I remember that year, 2017, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, going to an Eagles game. It was the Week 17 game against the Dallas Cowboys, and the Eagles lost like 6-0 because the Eagles were using like their third string players against the starting offense of Dallas. The Eagles already had the playoffs clinched. They were like the number 1 or number 2 seed or something. And we lost 6-0. But I remember December 31st, 2017, I was there with my grandfather. I bought the tickets. And I remember freezing my ass off. And I'm not even kidding, Brian. My grandparents watched this podcast. They watched the first episode. So they're going to hear everything we've talked about in this. Yeah. So, they know about the balls already, so it's fine.
No.
But, what is it? I remember going with my grandfather, and it was like negative 20 degrees with the fucking wind chill. Like, it was terrible, dude. And so we're sitting there. I'm freezing my ass off. I can only imagine what my grandfather felt, because he's 70 now. So he was maybe 66, 67 at the time. In 2017, something like, or no, he was 65. I don't know. He was something like that. I can't do math, dude. I can't do math. But I can only imagine how he's feeling. I mean, Jesus Christ. And we at one point it got so bad we went into like the tunneled area to try and see if it was more warm, and it wasn't. It was fucking freezing, dude. And we ended up we went into the bathroom for like a minute to warm up. Like, the bathroom was like the hottest area, and like I think it's just because everybody in the freaking stadium was just hiding in there from the cold. They were all just in there, just like, everyone go, and it'll be warm. Like, I remember we were trying to get food, dude, and the fountain sodas were all frozen from how cold it was, so there was no drinks. And the only food was hamburgers, and my grandfather was like, I don't want a hamburger. Do you want a hamburger? I was like, sure, I'll have a hamburger. Look at me, bro. I want a hamburger, of course. And so, so I got the hamburger, and I'm not even kidding you. It gets off the grill, and I put it in my mouth, and it's cold. Dude, how?
Oh, no.
It was that cold. I felt so awful. I spent like $530 on tickets, dude. And we fucking lost 6-0.
Bro, I would have been like, I don't want my money back. I just want a warm fucking hamburger.
Dude, I was so pissed. But I look at that game, me and my grandfather going all the way to Philly to see that game. I look at that game as, we never would have won the fucking Super Bowl if my fucking ass wasn't freezing for 4 hours that day in the cold. I'm like, no, seriously, because like, I'm not rich, Brian. I'm not rich. $530. That's a lot.
I know.
And so we were there, and you know, everything happened. Carson Wentz was out at that point. It was terrible. It was awful. We looked like shit that game. And then all of a sudden, that magical run right to the Super Bowl. And I remember watching the Super Bowl at my grandparents' house and just thinking to myself, I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is actually insane.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the same year the Minnesota Miracle happened, right? That was the year where I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, no, I think it was the Stephon Diggs catch, and he.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs. Yeah, and he won the game against
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yeah, against them to face us. And I remember going into that game, and I'm like, I was scared. I'm like, well, they just beat the Saints.
Yeah.
Like, and the Saints are so scary. Like, that's Drew Brees, and we annihilated them.
Bro, we straight.
We. And I remember watching that game, and I'm like, we're gonna win it. Like, I don't care who we're up against. I remember it's fucking Tom Brady, you know, which it was. But I was like, oh my god, like, it does. No one is stopping us. We did not go into one of the last few rounds of the playoffs to and absolutely decimate the team that we're playing.
Yeah, dude, it
And
was
oh my
insane.
god,
It was insane. I and you know, shit happens for no reason, but I genuinely do believe that that was my little gift from, if God is real, that was my little gift from God. He was like, "Yo, I got you, dog. You just spent almost $600 on tickets to watch your team lose to the Cowboys. So here you go. I got you." And so, how many times are you going to see the Eagles win a Super Bowl? Clearly not many. So, so I mean, it was the first. I was excited for me to see the Eagles win a Super Bowl, but like
yeah,
I was more happy that my grandfather got to see it. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I mean, 52 years there were Super Bowls. It took 52 years for the Eagles to win one. I don't think I'll be around for another 52 years. So, I mean, it's only natural my grandfather doesn't survive another 52 years. He knows that. I mean, Jesus, you're like, right? Yeah. Another 52 years. He's 70 right now. So he'd be what, 132?
120,
Uh
120,
120?
or 122, 120.
122. 100, I was going to say there's got to be a 2 in there. But
I was just saying 50.
dude, that's insane. That like I'm just saying I wouldn't want to live that long. 122? Dear God. Honestly, no, at that point,
Actually, I think it's either 1 year off or that is the exact world record of the oldest living person ever.
yeah, no, I was going to say at that point I might want to keep living and be like a record setter. Like, could you imagine being like, "Oh, I'm going to set the record for oldest living person," and being like 121 and like dying?
What is it called? Well, no, I couldn't actually, but what is it called? I feel like that's actually something. Well, at least in this day and age, with like technology at our fingertips and whatnot, that you would never be forgotten
Oh,
because
yeah.
there would always be like a simple conversation like this where you just
Exactly.
go, let me Google that real quick, and then your name pops up. Edgar Mosley lived the longest living person ever at 123 years old, and for next hunt, unless someone beats it for the next 100,000. I mean, if we get past 1,000, tens of thousands of years in the future, such as two random kids, 15, 14, 28, 56, are going to have a conversation that's like, yeah, so who do you think the longest person ever lived? I don't know. Let's Google it if Google's still around by then, and your name will pop up. I feel like you'll never be forgotten if you're that person.
Exactly. And I think that's insane, honestly. Like, cuz what is it? Is it, was it you that whenever I worked with you at Wegmans, we just get into little fights over stupid shit, and then we'd be sitting there for like 10 minutes, and then you'd be like, "We have Google at the fingertips." Like,
Oh, yeah, that's me. I Google everything. Everything I need, I'm like, yo, we really have Google at our fingertips. Let's stop arguing, figure it out.
yeah, no, dude, we have Google at our fingertips. So I'm just like, okay.
Listen, I recommend this to anyone who ends up watching this. If you're in an argument, save yourself the fucking time and just Google it. You can argue for like 10 minutes if you want. It kind of feels good to get your point across and prove what knowledge you already know. But if they're just not having it, you just Google it. If you
Yeah.
find out you're wrong, be a the bigger person, admit you're wrong, and or just work around it and just like I can find it. That's what some people I know like to do. But not my co-host here. It's me. But or you prove them wrong and just go, well, Google says you're wrong. Here's the source and the conversation. No
Exactly.
need for 2 hour long arguments over something that ultimately does not matter in the end.
Yeah, pretty much. What is I think my most proud moment um being an asshole and proving somebody right was with Marissa at Wegmans, and
Yeah,
it was over one of the dumbest things ever. Um so just a little backstory, we pushed carts at Wegmans. It's what we did. Wegmans is a grocery store. Brian and I did it. What is it? Well, there was this girl named Marissa who we're friend. Well, I'm friends with. I don't know if Brian really is friends with her, but uh, you know, I talk to Marissa every here and then. But I remember she and I used to bust each other all the time, because we're both absolute idiots. And so, there was a Porsche in the parking lot the one day, and I go, "Hey Marissa, what kind of car is that?" And she looks at it and she goes, "It's a Porsche, idiot." And I went, "Wrong! It's a Porsche." And she was like, yeah. And she was like, "Shut up, you're an idiot. No, it's not. Look how it's spelled." And I was like, "Marissa, it's a Porsche." And she was like, "It's not. It's literally a Porsche." She was like, "I think I know what kind of car it is, Edgar." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, bitch." Okay, let's Google it. And I don't know if I Googled it or if she Googled it, but one of us Googled it, and it goes Porsche in like the Google voice, like Porsche. And so I was just like, boom! I was like, what now? What now? And I just remember her, she walks her line of carts up and she's just like, "You're wrong." And I was just like, "I'm right?" Hey, did you hear Google? Like, Google doesn't lie to me.
No, the worst people are the ones where you prove them wrong, and they're just like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm still right. Like, I do that jokingly. I'll be like, "Nah, I'm still right."
Oh yeah, you do
But
that
the
all the
ones who are
time.
serious about it, where they just go like, no, I get that, but like this," and then you're just like, no, not that. What I just proved to you. This is fact, not opinion. Once the facts are made, you're not allowed to have a wrong opinion at this point. If you do, you're just being ignorant.
Exactly. Oh, you get that all the time with politics and shit. So,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh, I know. I mean, you got me out.
how many times have you and I got gone at it over politics? So,
Oh my god, more times than I can count. Oh my
not
god.
in recent memory, but a couple years
No,
ago.
no. Recently, I feel like we've both sort of molded, sort of like, at least the majority, I feel, where me and you are more on the same page with a lot of stuff now.
Well, I feel like all right. So I feel like we both grew a little, and
Yeah,
we were kind of just like,
yeah, like, whatever.
who the fuck cares? Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
um,
no, like the only thing I'd say I'm not like that with is probably like when it comes to like racism and homophobia, like things that like you can't change type stuff.
yeah,
But I mean, then again, you were never like we never argued about that. That's just
yeah.
something that like I'm not willing to really change my who cares opinion
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. No, I never looked at you and went, "Hey, I think homophobia is a good thing." I never was like that. So, clip it.
clip it, canceled, canceled. Everyone, I want you to screen record that and send it to all your friends. Cancel this man.
Everyone clip it. Everyone clip it. I hope Google fucking take. I hope Google gives me. I hope YouTube gives me a strike for saying that. No, but nah, dude. I was never like that. I was never like, "Oh yeah, white people." Woo! I was never like that. But
No, I can't say you.
dude, I might be one of the whitest people on the planet. I mean, look at me. I look as white as the snow right now. But um, no, I was never like that. So, nah, dude. Speaking of politics, it's not. I mean, it is a huge topic, but it's not like anything insane. There's a hair on my mic. Afghanistan, dude. What the fuck is going on?
Oh, I was gonna bring it up, but I didn't want to bring it up to like such a serious topic just in case
Nah,
you didn't want to talk about that.
we talk about whatever we talked about my balls, Brian.
Okay, so let's not compare Afghanistan to your balls, I hear. But okay, I guess your drift. All
Well,
right, let's just move past that. Let's not clip that. So what I was gonna say is like when you said like how I get in arguments about politics a lot, bro, I've been getting into a lot of arguments recently. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Biden nor Trump. I definitely lean more Democratic, but I would never call myself one. But so recently, I've been getting a lot of arguments. Like everyone's like blaming Biden for like this whole Afghanistan thing, and like the fact is like the evacuation of Afghanistan was Trump's thing. Like Trump started that a few
yeah,
months ago before
he
Biden
did
even got
he
in
did
office.
say something about wanting to get them home
Yeah,
beforehand.
it was supposed to be done. in the next 2 months.
Now,
But Biden's whole thing was he was deferring it up.
whether or not is it confirmed that Trump actually got that signed and done? Because like I know he said something about it. I don't know if something happened about it.
I can't fact check this because I didn't I don't remember like the article that I read this from, so I don't want to tell you it's fact and then
Yeah, no, no,
turns out I
no.
read a false
I don't want to say
did
that
get
either.
a sign. But from my understanding, it was Trump's thing, and Biden just hurried it up about 2 months, and his thing was just like, the faster we do it, the faster we can get our troops out of such a dangerous situation, which is like completely understandable. But I've been getting a lot of arguments about that, and there's and this one you can technically blame on Biden, which I'll give anyone who doesn't like him the benefit of the doubt. So, and honestly, I think it's real fucked up. I honestly, honestly, I really liked Obama, at least his first term.
Yeah, no, I liked
from what
Obama.
know,
I was gonna say we were both young, but
yeah, so,
Obama did some good shit his first term. His second term, he kind of got a little lazy, I think, but his first term, he definitely did good. I agree. I think both Trump and Biden have been kind of jokes, though. But yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so what they're sending, and this is real fucked up in my opinion. I don't even know why this bill got signed. So I guess I blame like any of all the House of Representatives, Obama and Biden for like this go through. But so all the soldiers in Afghanistan right now have to sign this like little waiver saying that they will reimburse the U.S. for their flight to get evacuated. And people, so everyone's like, oh, Biden, this and that. And so I looked into it because, like, usually if I think something sounds kind of crazy, I'll look into it and see what's going on. And so, from my understanding, is this bill? It was actually a bill that was signed in 2011, I believe. And and Biden was the vice president.
Yeah.
And Obama was the president. And apparently, it was a bill so like if anything like that happens, like the U.S. will get reimbursed. And I believe it's up to $2,000 per flight. So I think so every soldier that's getting evacuated apparently, and I know for a fact like the what I'm saying is like true, but I don't know if everyone has to sign it or like maybe that was just the thing they were talking about. But I know like it did go viral and people are talking about it, and I saw it and I was like, and I looked into it, and it is a real thing.
That's insane.
What the hell? That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
There's always this talk how like we don't treat our soldiers or especially our veterans like with respect or like all this, but and that's just like case in point. Like
yeah, it shows right there.
Imagine telling someone who's fighting for our lives, like literally, like not even like he might or may not be fighting, like he is like these people, men and women are literally in Afghanistan, like fighting for their lives and for our lives.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, if you wanna see your family again, make sure. You got to know you're paying us this $2,000. Obviously, I assume every single one of them are going to say yes because, $2,000 is nothing compared to your life and your family. But like, imagine just knowing that's how much your country cares about you. Like, hey, we'll save you for the small price of $2,000.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is it? Yeah, no. So we agree that it's bullshit that they all got evacuated.
Okay, so I think it's bullshit now, but like I do kind of agree like with why they were doing it because like from my understanding like they were training the Afghanistan army or whatever they're called down there to like defend themselves for the past 20 years since 9/11.
Yeah.
So and apparently from what because everyone keeps bashing Biden about this, like we gave them a shit ton of guns.
We gave them a
shit ton.
We left everything, Brian.
Yeah.
Everything.
So my assumption was that over the past 20 years of training and having all these guns, that it was logical that if we evacuated our troops, because I mean, I think the sentiment was beautiful. Let's end this war on terrorism, get our troops home, and we won't be involved in this 20-year war on terrorism, right? And we assumed that Afghanistan would be able to hold their own with all 20 years of training and millions of billions of dollars of guns just sitting there with them. And apparently not. Apparently fucking.
Dude, did you see those videos of the people trying to like hang on to the fucking planes and then they like just
Yes,
fell
yes, I
hundreds
did.
of feet. Dude, that shit. I'm not even
Yeah,
kidding. All right, so I'm an asshole. We both know that. All
yeah,
right. I don't care
yeah,
about many people, but I'm not even gonna lie. I got emotional watching that because like, could you imagine living in a country that was just overrun by terrorists because we decided to go bye? You know, like
yeah,
the reason I look at it angrily with America and our government is we this isn't even the first time that's happened in recent memory that we've basically were like, yeah, no, and we just let a country get taken over. Remember at the beginning of COVID with Hong Kong and everything, and they were basically like, America, save us, please help us. Oh my God, we're getting fucking killed. Like, and there were all those riots and shit. We didn't care. We didn't care.
yeah.
And then COVID hit, and we all forgot about Hong Kong. I didn't. I didn't forget. Edgar remembers, but like that just gets me so mad because I feel like we were always looked at as that country that was like, "Yo, stop picking on people, bitch," to these countries that would pick on smaller countries, you know? And so
Yeah.
um I don't know, it just pisses me off that we're not holding that role anymore. We're kind of just like we're like self-absorbed almost as our own country, which is terrifying because the minute we become too absorbed with ourselves and our own country, this is the second that another country out there who doesn't like us can get the upper hand on us because we're not looking for that anymore. We're too into
Yeah.
ourselves. And so
Well,
that terrifies me.
I feel like I mean it's literally like it's not even like politicians' fault. I mean it is kind of honestly, but like it's literally more the people's fault. Like because for all these years we were doing that. We were protecting our country. We were getting involved in places that we weren't technically needed, but we were definitely a big help for whoever the person getting picked on was. And throughout all this time, I mean, I won't say what party, but like a certain group of people would be like, "Oh, you need to stop caring about these third world countries that mean nothing to us. Bring our troops home. Stop caring
Republicans.
about others. This is America." What is that?
Republicans. Republicans.
I didn't say it, but
Don't
yes, that's what I was
you
gonna
didn't
say.
need to say it. It's Republicans.
That, that,
And
that's what I was implying.
I'll say it, Brian, because you know that when I was younger I leaned more towards that side. Now
Yeah,
in maybe the last year or two I've centered myself very much. But
respectable.
what is it? I never thought that way about our troops or third world countries, but I've always felt we need to be there for them because we are the big brother. We are the United States. We're the place that
Mm-hmm.
people want to come and be around us and become part of us and be a part of our culture and bring their culture with it, you know? And so that's the way I've always looked at that. And so seeing these people in Hong Kong getting fucking shot down and fucked up by what was it, the Chinese government? And then I think it was Chinese government. And then
Bro, it's honestly sad because I don't remember for a fact, and like that's how little it was. It was literally talked about for like a week and a half, and honestly, I feel kind of bad because I didn't look much into it just because like I figured we'd either handle it or we wouldn't, and
yeah,
obviously we didn't.
we didn't. And then what is it fucking now with Afghanistan seeing the videos of people trying to just good people trying to get out of a bad situation and we're just like fuck you and we're letting them die. Like it's terrible. That's
Yeah,
like it really is just the word. That's like if American soil got attacked and our government just dipped out on us and we just got left to die. Like
I will say this: in those videos of the people hanging on, we actually were helping them. We were helping them leave.
no, I know they were in the planes. They were in the planes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I mean, because from my understanding, like those planes, like they're meant to see. I believe it was like 114 soldiers, and like they were putting about like 540 immigrants in them.
Yeah, I know. I
And
saw
so,
that.
so I mean, I do respect that we're trying, and I honestly like. I feel like it was just a crappy situation. Like honestly, I really don't put blame on anyone. I don't put blame on Trump for starting it, Biden for hurrying it up. Like the fact was that we thought that Afghanistan would be ready to defend themselves. We wanted to get our people home, And I mean, which is like who doesn't want our soldiers to see their families way more often than they have
Well,
to?
yeah, and I
I
agree
think
with
it's just a
that.
crappy situation.
So here's my question: why didn't we pull an Operation Sneak Attack and have half of our soldiers leave and then keep half of our soldiers hidden and then like see what would happen? You know what I mean? Because I feel like the second that Al Qaeda or whatever it is, isn't it Al Qaeda? That
I don't know exactly. I just know it's the Taliban.
yeah, I don't know exactly who it is, but what is I feel like the second that they tried to attack and Afghanistan didn't do anything, they'd see our soldiers come out of hiding and be like, "Oh, fuck," and run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, I guess like I mean, honestly, I would assume because I'll be honest, I think that like, and obviously no matter what, like if you're taking lives, you're stupid. But like I think like the Taliban has to be uh, very unintelligent. Like, why wouldn't you wait until we evacuated all of our troops? They literally wait. We evacuated like a portion of them, and they're like, haha, let's attack a UK base with and an embassy, and
yeah,
let's just not expect America to retaliate. Like, if they would have just waited for us to get a full evacuation, they could have took it over, and it would probably have took us like another month or so to get back down there.
yeah,
But they decided to attack us before we fully left, and now they're dealing with a lot of fucking shit.
yeah. Well, did you see? Now I didn't look too far into this. My grandmother actually showed it to me. I was over the house the one day, and she showed me. It was in the newspaper. It was one of our local newspapers. It said that the terrorists want to be good now and like become like leaders of their country, and I'm like,
I did see
no,
that.
no. I like, honey, no, you are bad people.
So I read about it. I read a tiny, like literally, like I didn't click on the article. I just read like the quick bio of it, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And so I guess the quote was that everyone, all men and women, all men will be fine, and all women will be fine as long as they live by the Book of Islam and are like basically like in the Book of Islam, which I mean, I respect everyone's religions. I personally don't care what you believe in. But I believe in the Book of Islam, like the woman is supposed to like I'm not gonna say bow to the man because I don't know like exactly
no,
how it works. But I know like
they
the woman is
basically,
basically supposed to serve the man.
yeah, they're
Like
basically
the
a
woman
man's
takes care,
slave.
cares of the man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's basically
yeah,
like,
sure.
no, that's literally what it is. It's basically that. It's like, yo, you're gonna do this for me right now, okay? And if they say no, they're
Yeah.
beat or some shit.
So I guess like they were like as long as everyone lives by that, everyone will be perfectly fine. And I mean like I guess I respect the fact. Well, it's hard to even say that. I guess I respect the fact that they're like trying to make an ultimatum, but like I don't know why they had to kill. I think it was like 452 people died in. I mean, there's probably more now, but like when they first attacked the UK military base, they killed I think it was like 452, 458, somewhere around the 400s people just to prove a point. And I'm just like, bro, like I don't know, like it's just a sad situation.
Yeah, absolutely it is. But all right, I was just wondering on your whole stance on that and everything. It's funny. I'm getting a
Yeah.
phone call right now from Eric.
Oh,
Should I answer this phone call on the podcast?
yeah, why not?
All right, let's see. Eric, I am live on the EdFlix podcast. How are we?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just wanted to say shout out to the podcast, shout out to Red Sea Games, shout out to Savage Jude 22, shout out to Trippy Judah on TikTok.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to add before I hang up on your ugly ass?
Yeah, you on me on Madden.
Honestly, probably not tonight. No.
You are a fucking accuser.
All right.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Fuck your podcast. Everything about you, man.
All right. Bye, Eric.
No, fuck you.
Okay. I hung up on him. But dude, I probably can't after this. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. I got to be up early, bro. I got work. But it is what it is. But what were we saying? Oh, I just want to talk to you about the whole Afghanistan thing, see your point of view on it.
Yeah.
Just for people's reference, the guy that called there, his name's Eric. That was the guy we were talking about before. When we were talking about the race, the guy with the long neck, we call him Draft. Yeah, that's him. But yeah, no. Other than that, not a whole lot to talk about. I'm gonna go through my motions, which is the shit that I've watched this week. If you have anything to add into it, if you've seen the movies or not, Brian, you're more than welcome to. The movies I've watched this week, it's pretty simple. I watched one yesterday called The Peanut Butter Falcon. It's about some kid with Down syndrome. Well, it's funny. He's not a kid. He's 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Shut up. It's not. No. It's not even because we're on a podcast right now that people are gonna watch, and you're making fun of a guy with Down syndrome. Think of that right now, okay? You're over there laughing.
That's a rough kid.
Dude.
That is so...
Dude, no. So the reason Brian's laughing is because technically I have autism, all right? I have Asperger's, and so he's very uneducated and likes to think it's Down syndrome. But no, it's about this 22-year-old with Down syndrome who wants to be a pro wrestler, and so Shia Shut up, Brian. Shia LaBeouf is the guy that's with him, and he's basically on the run from these bad guys, and together they get to this old wrestler's house in Florida, and this kid learns how to wrestle. It's a really heartwarming movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. That's if you want to see it, it is good. I definitely say check it out. I watched the old Batman movies, 1989 Batman. That's an 8 out of 10. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, quite possibly one of the best, if not the best, Batman movie of all time. Then I watched Batman Returns. Michael Keaton comes back. We've got Danny DeVito in there as the Penguin. Great movie, 8 out of 10. Batman Forever, which is fucking Val Kilmer as Batman. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. We got Chris O'Donnell in there as Robin. We've got fucking The Mask. Jim Carrey, that's his name. Fucking Jim Carrey in there as the Riddler. Great, terrible movie. 5, 6 out of 10, somewhere there. And then Batman and Robin, which is a 4 out of 10. I mean, that movie sucked. The only good thing about that movie was, honestly, Alfred. That dude's the homie.
Wait, Batman and Robin, is that when Adam West was still Batman?
No. That was George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. And
you know what?
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
I'm sorry, what's the last name again?
Arnold Schwarzenegger? But yeah, no, that movie sucked, dude. It's terrible. I only watch it because when I was really little, I loved Mr. Freeze, his catchphrases and stuff.
Yeah, I did see that movie. So I just remember Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. But I my entire childhood, I remember Mr. Freeze just going, "See you later, bird boy," to Robin. Like, that's just all I remember. "See you later, bird boy." Ow. And so, but this is just a terrible movie. Other than that, I don't really think I watched much. I watched a Drew Barrymore movie from 1999 called Never Been Kissed. It was actually a documentary on Brian's life. No, I'm fucking with you, Brian. You've been kissed by me. What? That's a lie. I didn't kiss Brian. He kissed me. But
as Trump would say, fake news.
But no, that movie was like a 6 out of 10. It was actually rewatchable. But other than that, not a whole lot. The movie I'm kind of hate on this week. That's the thing I do. I hated on a movie last episode. I don't know if you actually watched the podcast I'm gonna assume you didn't because I know you.
I did not.
Yeah. So something I'm gonna do every podcast is I'm gonna choose a movie to hate on very, very badly because the movie sucks. And the movie that I hate this week is called Ed, which is hilarious because it's my name. But this movie, it has Matt LeBlanc from Friends, Joey Tribbiani. He plays baseball in the minor leagues, and his teammate is a monkey. Like like a monkey. Like monkey.
And what is the plot of this? Is it that his teammate's a monkey? Is that the plot?
Yeah. So someone in 1996 went, get Joey Tribbiani and a monkey and baseball. Star power.
You know what?
No.
You know what?
No.
Back then, that idea probably was hitting. They were like, you know what? A baseball movie. Hear me out. But with a fucking monkey. And I know that room full of middle-aged white men went bonkers at the idea.
Dude, there's just some 48-year-old. There's just some 48-year-old white guy in the office, and he's just wearing white khaki shorts and white Nike dad shoes. He's got a gray shirt on with a pocket on his left titty, and he's got glasses, and he's just like, well, by golly, my son Samuel's gonna enjoy that. And so,
I'll agree with everything, but he's not wearing white Nikes. He's wearing the white and dark blue New Balances.
Okay, you got that. Those are the shoes. Honestly, that's what I was thinking of. I'm just dumb. So thank you. But yeah, dude, 100%. There was a dude in there. He's just like, my son is going to love this film. And then he took his kid to that movie, and they were the only one in the theaters. But
no. Actually, I think you're crazy. I think when it dropped, that place was filled. They said, because at the time the population was like, wow, our movies suck. And then they said, monkey in baseball in America's pastime? And then they watched it and they were like, wait, was the monkey CGI or was it real?
No, it was a real monkey.
Oh my god, they were like, the graphics look so good.
Dude, they were losing their fucking minds. There was definitely white people in that audience going, look at the monkey! Oh my god! 100%.
No, there was definitely some white people in that audience. A lot of things with that monkey.
Jesus. But, yeah, nah, dude. That's the movie we're going to hate on this week because it's just the worst. You know what's funny? I was talking to my grandparents today, and I said that they watched the podcast, so they're going to watch this one too. It's just what I don't know. I think that as my grandmother hates when I curse, so every time I say the F word, I feel like she slowly but surely, she's writing down every time I say that, and she's like, all right, that's one less time I get to tell him that I love him. And I'm like, oh, okay. No, she hates it. She doesn't like it. And so she watches these. She watched the whole thing the last time, dude. And I cursed a lot. And I didn't know she was going to watch it. And so I felt bad, but at the same time, I'm not going to change how I'm going to talk cuz it's just how I talk in person, you know. But I like that she's supporting me with that, though. I mean, she's watching it. Her and my grandfather. But my grandmother goes, the movie I hated on last week. You know what I always say the worst movie ever is? Do you remember what I say?
I'm gonna need to give me 1 second. I'm having technical difficulties. Eric just called me, and now I can't hear out of my headphones. So you're coming out of my phone.
Oh no!
You have to give me 1 second. Eric literally calls me and it just broke my thing.
Oh my god. But I asked if you remembered what my least favorite movie in the world was.
One second.
Okay.
Here, hold up, 1 second.
Did he just quit on me? Did he just leave? Brian?
All right, and I'm back.
Okay, all right. Dude, all right. So what I asked was, do you remember what I always say is my least favorite movie?
Your least favorite movie? Off the top of my head, I can't say I do.
Okay, so you've definitely heard me say it before. Wildfire, the Arabian Heart.
Oh, yes, I have heard you say that.
My grandmother, she the other day, she goes, I saw your podcast, and I want to watch that movie. And I was like, what? First of all, I was like, you watched my podcast? And she was like, yeah, I watched it when it was live. I was like the first view. And I was like, okay. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, I just wasn't expecting my grandparents to have watched it. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I just felt like they wouldn't. But they did, and she watched she watched the whole thing, and I was like, "What movie?" Like I talked about it a lot, but she was like, "That Wildfire movie, the one with the horse," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "No, you don't." I was like, "You can go watch it for free on YouTube. It was that bad. The guy that made it put it online for free." But I just found it really funny that she and my grandfather, they both watched it. My grandparents watched it. So I just found that hilarious, like in the sense that I just wasn't expecting it, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what there's a lot of surprising factors. Like, did you tell them about the podcast or what?
I did tell them about it. Actually, I did, but like, it didn't cross my mind that they then knew exactly how to find my podcast.
Oh wait, have you told them about this YouTube channel before?
I told them there. Like I said, it's called the EdFlix.
Okay.
I said it's called the EdFlix podcast, and
oh wow, okay, and they were just able to find it, and then
yeah. I guess I told them that it came out at Friday at 10 a.m. Like that was like my strict time, so I guess they just searched it on YouTube on Friday morning, and I guess because I had it premiering that morning, that it was like the first one up if you typed in EdFlix podcast.
Cool.
How many things are called EdFlix podcast? You know,
probably not many.
Probably the only thing in the world.
As I said, probably two as a Friday this week.
Yeah, exactly. As of this day that this comes out, we're recording this on Wednesday night. So 2 days before it's released because Brian and I couldn't get together at any other time this week. It's been rough. Actually, I said that I was going to have him here this week, so I really wanted him to, and I almost recorded without him. Almost. But I didn't, because I love Brian. But, yeah.
The good thing is good. They would have missed out on quality content.
Exactly. What did you say?
So they would have missed out on some quality content.
Oh, all right. I didn't know what you said. But... They would have missed out on quality content. Talking about me falling face first on a parking garage roof. Talking about the first time we ever met.
I'm starting to think that a lot of our stories just involve you in pain at one point in time.
They do. I'm gonna have one of the Studleys or JR on the podcast and talk about the time I snapped my ankle in the middle of the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Oh man.
Edgar, I feel like since this is getting near like the long end, we won't talk about these now. But in a future one, we need to talk about first we need to talk about me chop blocking your legs in football. and then we also need to talk about oh my god, wait, what is it? Oh my god, if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. But there's another story that I just thought of before, and I just think it would be great.
Dude, you chop blocking me was insane. But what is it? We'll hold that for another day, 100%, because there's gonna be more of this. So yeah, no, basically, we got to talk about the whole fucking chop blocking scenario some other
Oh
time.
my god.
So what is it? You tell me whenever you remember what other story you want to talk about, because dude, story times I feel like are the best thing ever, because people like it's just great to reminisce that type of stuff. You know, how many times have we told those stories and they never get less funny?
Oh my
So
god. Yeah. No. I mean, there's a lot, and it's funny because we don't even hang out all that often. Oh, I just remembered. I was gonna say we could tell the story about well, first we thought there was a ghost in your house, or maybe there was, and then you doing a push up with me on your back.
yeah, dude. Holy crap. I don't remember the ghost in my house story. I mean, I know there's ghosts in my house,
Uh,
but
remember it was me, you, and Eric, and we thought that we saw your grandfather. You said it was like your grandfather's chair moving.
wait, what happened?
I think I don't remember the everything about it. I remember I think what you were saying like we thought we were seeing like this one rocking chair move, and you were or something like that, and you were like it was like some I don't remember. I honestly don't I know. I just remember us being dumbasses and screaming and then running down to your room.
I do
That's
remember.
what I remember.
I do remember us having a rocking chair in my living room, but I don't think it was any grandparents' rocking chair. I don't remember because that rocking chair isn't even in our house anymore. I don't know whose rocking chair that was, but it was the one in the living room.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember. I do remember that happening though now because we were all just like and ran. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I've got tons of ghost stories I can tell on this podcast, 100%. But I honestly forgot about that one because it's just so insignificant compared to other things that have happened. Um, but
Fair, fair.
what is it? No, dude, we're gonna save the chop blocking and the me literally lifting you up from the floor to my feet when you were on my back for another day. Cause that shit, I mean, that just took some real manpower, honestly. Because because you were bigger than you are now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so it was rough. I mean, you weren't much bigger, but it was rough, dude.
No,
That
that's
was
like 20
that's
times heavier though.
I was gonna say that's a lot of weight still to be on your back and stand up with a whole human there. But all right,
Yeah, man.
we're gonna save the outlining of that story for another time. I know I just said what happened, but we'll tell the whole thing at a later time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We'll get into it.
yeah, exactly. But I don't know if you're gonna be on the next episode. I'm gonna see if I could try and get someone else on here and expand the you know, see what's going on. You know what I mean? See if I can get other people on. We'll talk about it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about it. Cause I don't know if I'm
yeah.
gonna get the Studleys on here or JR or something. Cause I feel like that'd be cool to have multiple people join whenever. Um, but yeah, no, it's been good doing this with you. I feel like we had a good time. I don't know about you.
No, honestly, I had a blast. I thought it was fun.
All right, that's good. That's good. Um, the only other thing really we got to talk about is the fact that tomorrow I'm getting a new desk in my room, Brian. Um, it's gonna be an L-shaped desk, like for my computer, and so where I'm at right now, I won't be here for the next podcast.
Okay.
I'll be moved over a little bit. You see the painting, or not the
Oh,
painting, but like the pictures up on the wall there. It's Walking Dead. It's like it's cool artwork. Um, it's gonna be like pretty much centered over that. So I'm gonna just be a little different looking, like my background. So yeah, that's all. Other than that, same time next week. We're gonna, do what we gotta do. I am still working on getting the soon to be game show called Brain Dead Dumb Fucks out. Don't worry, folks, it's coming. I don't know if Brian even knows what that is, but it's a game show where I go on Omegle, find random people, and ask
wow.
ask them questions about movies, and if they don't know it, they're a brain dead dumb fuck. But I what is I said last week on the podcast that I tried it and I recorded it and I told a bunch of people to watch for the video, and dude, it didn't record my audio the whole time. I was recording for like 2 hours. I got a bunch of great reactions. I was so upset. I was so upset, dude. I was so hurt. But everybody seemed to love it. And so I'm really excited to actually record stuff properly this time. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, other than that, that's all we've got. That's all we got here. Same time, same place. Next Friday, 10 a.m. We're getting this shit out to you. It might not be Brian with me. It might be me by myself. We don't know. We're gonna figure it out as time goes. So thank you guys for watching episode 2 of the EdFlix podcast. Thank you, Brian, for showing the hell up today.
No problem, my man. Peace out, everybody.
See you guys.